Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the never-ending drama. Is Call of Duty dead? Is COD dying? Is it on the rebound? Well, it turns out, as always, we really don't have too much accurate information. From the outside looking in, as a content creator and as a Call of Duty player, it seems like interest in COD this year is incredibly low. Not only the low sales figures at launch, but also just the general interest that you see on YouTube, Twitch, and virtually every other social media platform. It really seems like people don't really care about this year's COD, people aren't really playing this year's COD, they're not all that interested. But we then get some sales figures information as well as playtime information coming from these verified sources, and that seems to paint a completely different picture. So let's just go ahead and check this out here. So according to Circana, dude, what is with everything have to be hard to pronounce here on YouTube, man? I just don't get it. But they were formerly the MPD group. Basically what they do is they get all these different analytics across the entire video games industry, and then they post the results of different sales figures for different months as well as years. That's how you find out the best-selling games, the most played games, and things like that throughout given months and throughout given years. Well, today they just posted the information from January of 2024, and lo and behold, the best-selling game in January was Modern Warfare 3. But be sure to go ahead and read what we have here at the very top, however. This is physical and full game digital from the Nintendo eShop, the PlayStation, Steam, as well as Xbox platforms. So we're not talking microtransactions or anything like that. We're talking about physical game sales and full game digital sales from all those platforms, and Modern Warfare 3 is number one. I will say it doesn't really have a ton of competition. We got like Tekken, Suicide Squad, Persona, Madden, Hogwarts, which is still selling incredibly well because apparently it's a very good game. But then you have things like Elden Ring, Mortal Kombat, Minecraft, God of War, Ragnarok, like things that have come out a while ago. They're still selling pretty damn well. Well, Modern Warfare 3 is number one, apparently across Xbox, PlayStation, as well as Steam, which is pretty interesting. Then when it comes to player engagement numbers, we have even more interesting numbers coming in from January, whereas Fortnite for Xbox and PlayStation is number one, but the Call of Duty HQ is number two across both Xbox and PlayStation. But Call of Duty HQ includes Warzone, Modern Warfare 2, as well as Modern Warfare 3. So basically 3 games combined make up COD, and COD as a whole is the number 2 most played game on the PlayStation and the Xbox in the month of January, which is actually pretty interesting. But then when it comes to Steam, which Steam is only like roughly half of the entire Call of Duty PC community, the other half are playing on Battle.net, but when it comes to the most played Steam games for January of 2024, Call of Duty is all the way down there at number 9, behind things like Lethal Company, Apex, GTA 5, Team Fortress, and things like that. And if we check out the Steam charts as of right now, Call of Duty is number 10, right now being when I'm recording this video on February 23rd. So there you guys have it. We have all this conflicting information coming out. Like subjectively, it really does seem like COD is in a really bad place right now. People just don't seem interested in playing it or watching it or engaging with it really whatsoever. Then you look at Xbox and PlayStation, and apparently between Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Warzone, it's the number 2 most played game last month, which is kind of interesting. I mean, we're talking about 3 games total here, but still, Call of Duty as a whole still has an interest. And when it comes to people purchasing COD, it's number 1 across all of the major platforms, which is interesting because there's so many ways to manipulate numbers and try to spin your own narrative one way or the other. You could say that people are buying COD because there's nothing else to buy right now. I mean, for crying out loud, you got like Madden and FIFA and shit like that. Like the same stuff that comes out every year, like COD, are always the most popular games every single year. But Call of Duty being a first-person shooter is going to be a bit more popular than maybe a game like Madden or a game like FIFA, depending on what part of the world you're in, right? So that's one way to manipulate it. You could also manipulate these numbers and say, you know what? It took 3 games total of Call of Duty for them to be number 2. That means COD's down bad. I can see that narrative there as well. You could also say that all the extra post-launch support that they've put into Modern Warfare 3 so far has really been working out, bringing back Fortune's Keep, Warzone 3 already being a thing, and then the Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer as a whole has had 2 pretty good seasons so far, in my opinion, in terms of the weapons that have come out, the number of maps that have come out, all the different camo challenge events and different things like that for us to do in the game. I think the post-launch support so far for Modern Warfare 3 has been pretty damn good. So you could try to manipulate these numbers and say, you know, it's the fact that they're trying so hard with post-launch support, that's the reason why people are playing the game more, and that's the reason why people are actually giving the game a chance to buy it. It could also be the fact that the game itself has been on sale the entire past month. That might be part of it as well, because a lot of people, when they first saw Modern Warfare 3, they thought it was a $70 DLC, and then I saw sales for it going down to as low as like $45 or something similar to that. So maybe people saw that and they thought, you know what, for 45 bucks, I already weighed a whole bunch. Now let's go ahead and jump into the game. That's definitely a possibility as as well. But going full circle back to the very beginning of the video, this is always going to be a never-ending talking point. It's always going to be never-ending drama and controversy within the Call of Duty community. You have some people saying COD is completely dead. You have other people pointing towards the numbers here saying that COD was the best-selling game last month, which is pretty impressive. But then you're gonna have people arguing that they're not really competing with anything. I mean, in terms of like new shooters coming out, like you look back here at the list of these games right here, like what is COD in direct competition with? You know what I mean? In terms of a new release that people are going to purchase. You know what I mean? Like Tekken, Madden, Hogwarts, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, all that's for Sega. Last of Us Part 2 for crying out loud, like Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Elden Ring is still up there, and Minecraft and freaking Mario Kart. Like, COD does not have any direct competition right now in terms of annual shooter releases. You guys know what I mean here? It's kind of like saying like, oh, can you believe Madden was the best-selling NFL game that came out this year? It's crazy, right? The longevity of Madden is amazing. Well, sure, kind of. I mean, Madden actually kind of sucks now compared to what it was back in the day, but also Madden has the exclusive rights to the NFL. It has no real competition. And in the same vein, while Call of Duty does have competition in the shooter market, in terms of annual releases that come out every single year that are like this kind of like fast-paced arcade shooter, COD doesn't have any competition like that. Back in the day, it kind of did. Back in the day, you know, we had Battlefield, Gears of War, which was a very different game, but you had Battlefield, you had Gears, you had Titanfall when that first came out, Titanfall 2, and then all the other COD killers that were supposed to come out and release that ultimately just ended up failing. Call of Duty used to have competition, now it doesn't. So these sales numbers, they look good, but ultimately, will it reflect in a better game experience, and will it reflect in better numbers for Activision, and how is that going to affect us as the Call of Duty player base? I will say it's a bit manipulative. Like, what other game out there is able to classify themselves as like 3 games and then have that be one ranking spot on the leaderboard? You know, like combining Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Warzone all together in terms of player retention is a bit scummy in my opinion, but at the same time, you can't argue with the fact that it was the best-selling game last month. Regardless of Warzone or microtransactions or whatever, Modern Warfare 3, the multiplayer, the campaign, the zombies, like the core of Modern Warfare 3, was the best-selling game despite no real competition. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with that going forward. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, especially once X-Defiant gets released. And then, of course, you have all the popularity of games like Helldivers 2 and all of that happening right now. So it should be interesting to follow this going forward as we go into a Treyarch year, which Treyarch years typically are pretty popular in terms of sales and player engagement and things like that. So if nothing else, it should be fun to watch from the outside looking in. And as always, I will keep you guys posted as we learn more, as new updates come out and as new stories develop. But for right now, that's it for this video here today. Leave your thoughts and feedback on why you think Modern Warfare 3 is suddenly selling so well down there in the comments, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.